All right, pre-show shenanigans. Today I have a story. It's story time. This will relate to something that Grant, unfortunately, is not looking forward to have happen to
Don't know
him.
when it's gonna happen.
Doesn't know. It literally just happens randomly, and it will at some point happen. So when Grant and I were in elementary school, just a little bit of context, when we were in elementary school, we were playing tag, and I ran my face into the metal fireman's pole on the playground and completely chipped my entire front tooth.
Also, quick side note, really poor design. There's these two giant like steel metal beams like right next to each other, both like, and you can, if you're a first grader, you could squeeze through it.
Yeah.
Kindergartners could probably sprint through that and make it through. But second graders, well, you're eating forehead straight into that
Yeah,
and
so
face.
we
So
were we were playing tag, I think, and I turned around to look at the person behind me to see where they were, and as I turned my face back, I ran straight square into a metal pool, tooth gone, like half my tooth gone. Went home, had a fully chipped tooth for like 3 days. Went home, got it fixed. 7, 8 years later, randomly fell out during class, an emergency appointment at the doctor, at the dentist, and unbeknownst
wait,
to
how many
me,
years later?
this was like 8 years later. We happened in third
Okay,
grade,
that
and
makes me a little
then
more happy.
this was I think senior year of high school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was junior
That's
senior year,
11 years. Nine.
something like that. Yeah,
Nine.
I
Wow.
don't. Yeah,
Well,
but
this
anyways,
had to happen to you earlier than third grade. You weren't there in third grade.
no, I came back when this happened.
Oh,
I
oh,
was I
oh,
was there
oh.
for like my
Running
birthday or
into a
something.
beam. Okay. I'm not
Yeah,
sure how you got yourself in that situation, but all
we
right.
were we were it was it was a group of people. We were out at the
Okay.
beach. But anyways, unbeknownst to me, when your filling falls out for like a chipped tooth or something, typically the solution is a root canal, which I was not aware of in this situation, and I don't like needles. So I went to the dentist expecting them to just fill my tooth with some more whatever, and they were like, "Well, we have to do something a little bit more permanent for your tooth right now, like so that it lasts longer." And I was like, "Okay," and they're like, "Well, we're gonna put this beam in here. Like you might feel a little discomfort, but we're gonna give you Novocaine." I'm like, "No, I'm not doing Novocaine." Because at this point, I still hadn't had my wisdom teeth out or anything. I'd never had numbing stuff, never had cavity, never had anything put in my mouth, and I don't like needles. So I was like, no. So for the next 45 minutes, I'm just sitting there. They have a metal beam that they're putting into my tooth, literally knocking it into my root with a hammer, and
Mm-hmm.
then they are filling around the beam with like the filling solution.
Mm.
And that might be my either first or second kind of hardest like thing that I've ever done. Not by standpoint that it was difficult for me, but meaning like it was
Just
like
an
tough.
unbearable pain.
I actually don't even like the way that either I was so traumatizing and painful that I remember it as not super painful, or I just literally it just was not that bad.
Well,
But
that makes me feel a little bit better.
um yeah, so I got a metal pole stuck into my tooth, into my root of my tooth, with no numbing, no Novocaine or anything.
Yeah.
But this plays into your situation now, where you're coming up on your little deadline here,
Yeah,
where
I
you're
got
gonna be in
I
that
chipped my
point.
teeth 2 years ago. So 6 years. I'll
Six
take
years,
that. I'll
but
take
it
that.
is a case by case basis.
Well,
Let's
real
clarify
quick,
that.
I mean, let's embrace debate. Now remind me again of your teeth, your fillings fell out in class.
Yeah, so I was in the middle of English
Okay.
class. We were reading books, like we were reading aloud, popcorn reading. And I'm sitting there, and then I feel like something loose, and it drops into my hand. And I like looked at my hand. I see the piece of it off, and I
Uh-huh.
feel it here. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm thinking about that. Like maybe at the time embarrassing. I think if that happened to me, I think that'd be hilarious.
Oh no,
My
I
top
wasn't
10
embarrassed. I
moment
was just like, I need to
in
get
high
this
school
fixed.
career. But let's embrace debate, Everett. What would be the worst situation for me to lose my teeth in 6 years? The
Well,
worst
the
situation
funniest situation would be
that
if
could
you're
also apply.
if you're on the podcast and it just
That'd be
mid
ideal.
podcast
But
falls out. That'd be
let's,
great content.
let's just think of,
Oh, you know what it would be? Your
like,
DMV photo.
that'd be good.
While you're getting your
That's a good
DMV
one.
photo, that would be good.
That's a good
Passport
one.
too.
I
Put
was
that in there.
thinking, like, let's say you're like meeting with a client, falls out. That's a horrible time.
That's pretty bad.
I'm thinking like
Job
that.
interview.
Like maybe like meeting your girlfriend's parents. That's a really bad time. Like
Wedding. Your wedding day.
awful time.
Awful time.
Don't envision myself getting married in 6 years, but let's say
No,
that
but
did
it's just
happen,
now we're just
awful
kind of
time.
thinking generally.
No, I know.
What about a flight, like an airplane? If you're on the plane,
if
or is
it's
that just
right
like
at the start to a 20-hour flight to
wherever?
What's a distance that's long?
It's like Australia.
Yeah, Australia. Bad timing. Weddings good. Or
Weddings.
Start of a like 2-week long vacation. Really bad timing.
I was about to say that.
Start of a vacation, bad timing. If you go on a
road trip,
if you go on a frozen retreat to Antarctica, bad timing. Could be tough.
a cruise. If you're on a cruise,
yeah, that's bad timing. If you're camping out in the wilderness and it takes you days to get back to like civilization, bad timing.
Maybe that's beneficial to you though. If you got a sharper tooth, you can get through some stuff with.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if we're hunting with our teeth per se, and I'm not sure how big of an advantage I'll be in like eating food, but hey, maybe. I don't quite see that angle, but hey, I'm
your first day of work.
Bad timing.
Bad timing.
Yeah, that's bad timing. Yeah, I was just thinking in 6 years from now, some bad times that it could happen.
See, here's the thing: is you don't know. It could happen. It could be whenever. It could be tomorrow. It could, and it can happen any. Assuming you'd be away.
Now, I would like. Did you have any inkling leading up to it that these might be on their way out, or was
it felt a little bit looser because like you can kind of see the line on your tooth. Like it was a little bit more apparent, but I wasn't like expecting it to happen anytime soon. It just kind of happened.
Like you noticed any.
My assumption was like, okay, I've had this thing for like 8 years now. It could happen. I wasn't just expecting it to happen, but I did notice it was like, okay, the line where the seal is a little bit more like visible. So that might be an issue, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's still just going to fall out.
Yeah. Personally, I'm hoping Big Dentist works on a way to fix that up within the next 6 years. So some new technology by Big Dentist to, get that fixed without pain. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Gotta have something.
Yeah. What I'm curious for is if my filling's going to ever fall out. Because you don't know that.
Oh, that? Well, I mean, that's the worst day ever. Getting your root canal root canaled. Nope.
Do you have to get a re-root canal or can they use the hole?
Take them all out.
Just one tooth? No, it's
way more painful.
Way worse. 100% way worse.
Way worse. But yeah. Pre-show shenanigans. All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode 134, and there is not a lot going on in the sports world right now.
I've got a decent amount of stuff for us.
I would say arguably yesterday. Trevor Bauer starting for the DNA Bay Stars was arguably like the second most exciting thing on in the sports world. Behind the All Star Game. Like it's a weird time right now.
Whoa. Sorry. Behind the All Star Game and the Waterboy Podcast coming out.
Well, I'm thinking, live sports matchups. But, we're in a little dead stretch right now, and it's not like free agency is very enticing in anything. So, yeah. All-Star Game fun fact, Everett. We'll get this over with quickly. National League beat the American League for the first time since 2012. They were on a 10-game win streak leading into this. Also, before that, the AL had a 13-game unbeaten streak from 1997 to 2009 against the NL. The NL, in between those years, in 2009 to 2012, they won all of those. But since 1997, the National League has only beaten the American League 4 times in the last
Wow.
26 All Star games.
That's kind of surprising given the
4 for
talent
22 ish.
that's been on in the NL. So I'm a little surprised by that.
But even more, Everett, the winner of the All Star game used to determine who got home field advantage for the World Series. So, I mean, the AL just had an advantage essentially
I'm
for
not gonna lie,
two
like
and a half
I
decades.
kind of the NFL, or at least I thought the NFL used to do that with the NFC, AFC. Obviously, it's a little bit different because it's not legitimate home field; it's just jerseys. But
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea where it's like the teams,
Oh,
their
I don't.
conferences. I
The
like
All
the
Star
idea that
game?
I like the idea of the conferences like are like that gives incentive for them to win. Like it's
But it's,
incentive.
I mean, it's stupid. Like, for
I don't think so.
example,
I think it's kind of fun.
if you're an 120 win team going up against a 95 team in the World Series, they get home field advantage. You're just like, what?
I mean, yeah,
Do you not
that's
think that's a
true.
little?
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But what I'm saying is like, I think that there's more fun in it. Like as a fan of the sport, that it gives me more incentive to watch that game.
Yeah, I get it from that angle. I just, that's just like
Let's
one of
let's
the
also
rules.
say this as
What are
the
we
other
doing?
thing
What are we
though.
doing? What are we doing?
Let's say this is the other thing though. Just let the players wear their own team jerseys. Let's not go the NFL route where
Oh yeah, no,
it's
they recently had a very nice picture while they're announcing the starting lineups before the game, and it was the last time they did it. It's all the NL teams got Big Dave up there as the manager. I think it was like 2021 or 2019 when it was, but you know what? I'm not sure how many jerseys they sold because they looked pretty ugly. But hey, they want to sell more All
well
Star jerseys. So
last year's were the black and gold or white and gold ones, right? That was the 2021
yeah,
ones.
yeah. This year they
2022,
did
I
it
guess.
like Mariner
But
color themes.
this year they did it where it said just national or American. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, if you want to make custom ones for the games, right? That's fine, but I think that you should allow each players to have their own team names on the jersey,
Oh,
not have it just say national or an
I mean that'd
American.
be very cool.
That's what they have been doing though.
I don't think so. I don't think
No, like
special
last
Blue
year the
Jay All
jerseys.
Star jerseys. No, they definitely said National League, American League on them.
No, they did not. They were gold with and black with the name of your team on it.
Really?
Yes. Angel, like for reference, this picture has the Angels in black with gold lettering that says Angels. Dodgers had white jerseys with gold lettering that said Dodgers. I like that. I
Huh.
think that's I like that where each player has their
I
own
have
team rather
zero
than just
recollection of that. That's interesting.
so. That's just my
20,
opinion.
2021. Oh my God, 2021. Those things look awful. Holy shit. Don't look at
2022.
those. Don't look at 2021.
Let's look at 2022.
20. The best year though was what was it? 2019, I think. 2018. Last year they did it. It just looks sick when they're wearing their normal jerseys. Like the
Yeah.
NBA 2, that All-Star game is sick. Like, especially when you throw in the Raptors and then you get like the purple and black jersey and it's just so many different colors. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's just so many different colors on the screen.
I think it's a little bit harder to do in basketball because
Well, every team has a white for the homes. And so
oh,
you
that's true.
want to
So
be
you
the
can
away
still
team.
you
You want
can
to be the
yeah.
away team, so you get to
Yeah.
wear the colors.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
And yeah, also like Lakers home team, like you can't wear the yellows, you got to wear the whites if they're the home team. But they always made the Lakers away, so
Yeah, let's also address
big
this by the
brain,
way.
big brain.
Let's also address this by the way while we're just on baseball. You know it's late in the draft when random players are getting drafted that may never
Oh yeah,
even
it's like
get through it.
arguably the best part of the
That is the
draft is
most
seeing random
entertaining part of
names.
the draft. We had a 14-year-old get drafted by, I think it was like the White Sox or something. That was great. Uh, but the biggest name in all of it is DJ Ukulele. Uh,
Butcher that one.
I
Try it one more
mean,
time.
you said. I
Ukulele?
mean, all I want to address is when you said his first name first. You said Ungalele the first time that we were going through this weird
Uliungalele.
color. Yes.
I
What did I
swear you
say?
said un,
Unga
un,
Ungalele.
ungal. I don't even know. I mean, we're about to play that
Uigalele.
back.
I
That
said
was hilarious.
Uigalele. That's what I said. I said Uigalele.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we took him round 20. I mean, that's the steal of the draft. We just confirmed a four-peat of World Series starting around 2028 until around like
Next,
2032.
he
Pretty
is
much
listed as a
confirmed it.
two-way player. That's what I'd like to address.
Yeah. So we just drafted, well, two-way player, but he'll also be playing in the NFL. So two-way baseball player,
Three-way
two-way
player.
athlete. So
Three-way
yeah,
player.
yeah. I mean, he'll be playing three
Well,
positions.
also, let's not get too ahead of ourselves in the NFL yet. I mean, he still has got a little bit to prove this next season.
Oh, I'm more so thinking of like more so like a PR stunt, kind of like what Urban Meyer did, signing Tim Tebow as a tight end. You know,
Oh, I
temporarily
gotcha.
he'll be
Okay.
on an NFL team.
Temporary. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see.
you
Okay,
know,
I
maybe a
gotcha.
P squad. Like, I think that still qualifies. You know, if
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Jordan gets praised for playing in Double A, I think that's gonna count for DJ. Right? I mean,
yeah.
it's only fair.
I mean, yeah, yeah,
It's only
yeah.
fair. It's only fair.
Yeah, it's only fair. It's
So
only fair.
yeah, I mean, with all those things in mind, yeah. I'm trying to like look up some other crazy MLB draft picks, and I just found a list of unusual players or people selected in the MLB draft. So fun fact, Tom Brady drafted round 18 out of high school. So I mean, things have changed obviously, but according to the scouts, Tom Brady is a better baseball player than DJ. So keep that in mind, everyone. Tom Brady could have done it. Matt Castle drafted round 36 by our favorite, the Oakland A's, of course.
They
Dante
like picking a
Culpepper,
lot.
round
They like picking a lot
26.
of NFL players. The A's.
Yeah, they do. Culpepper, round 26, Yankees, PR stunt. Eric Decker was drafted twice, round 39 by the Brewers and round 27 by the Twins. John
From
Elway.
Minnesota. Went to UM.
Yeah. He was an outfielder for Minnesota. Played on the baseball team there. Makes sense if he was drafted twice, or else like what the hell? John Elway, yada yada. Marshall Faulk. Did not know
Interesting.
that one.
Interesting.
Kyle Long, former guard, was drafted.
To play what position?
Pitcher. Yeah, he threw heat. Oh yeah, he threw
Wow.
fast. Oh
Wow.
yeah. Oh, it gets a lot of power behind that fastball.
Coming for Bartolo Colon's job.
Johnny Manziel, drafted round 28 by the San Diego Padres.
That makes sense. That adds
Dan
up.
Marino, Matt Moore, and of course, Kyler Murray. Oh, Golden Tate. Twice. Golden Tate, round 42 and round 50. Okay.
Are there non
NFL
NFL players on this list, or is this exclusively NFL players?
There's some NBA. Not sure if you know this guy, Charlie Ward. You definitely don't. You know Russ. You know Jameis. No, that's it.
I'm just looking for when they randomly get the rights to like an elementary schooler, which they do. They do.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when I think it was legit. Like Lane Kiffin, when he was head coach at USC in like 2012, he offered like a 7-year-old.
Of course he did. It's Lane Kiffin.
I was like, all right, it's kind of baller. I respect USC now. But yeah. Anyway, last little interesting news around the MLB: the Cardinals are selling. The Cardinals, who I expected them to win the division, they won it last year.
We both did.
They get
we
Wilson
both thought
Contreras, upgrade at center, replacing Molina. We're all thinking they made the moves.
What ends up us realizing though is Molina was the glue.
Yep, he was the glue. He
was the glue.
He was everything that embodied the St. Louis Cardinals, and if he's not there, there's nothing there. So yeah, Cardinals fire sale. We'll see where those players get dealt. I'm not saying go after like Goldschmidt or Arenado. I'm more so looking at their guys like coming up on ARB that we can get. Those are guys, Ryan.
You think that they would sell Arenado or Goldschmidt?
Maybe we wouldn't get them. Like we don't.
No, I know. I just said it's a general statement.
I mean, they probably should. If they are selling, then yeah. Well, like Goldschmidt, I think Goldschmidt is on a shorter deal, so like you will be able to get more teams interested in it because it's a shorter deal. It's not as big of a risk, but Arenado might be locked up till like 2028.
I'm sure he got some contract after last season. Definitely got some contract after last season, let's be honest.
Yeah, so with that Arenado, it's like if you're going to trade for him, like that's a contract you're taking on. So it's like a little more planning. We're not going to do that, but
yeah, maybe the Padres will. The Padres like doing those kind of things.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, why don't they just move Arenado to second, right? Let Manny stay at third. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Okay, quick thing I have for college football. I know you have some stuff as well.
I mean, sorry, I just gotta say one last thing on the Padres. Let's say they were to do that, they literally have to get like men's softball players to be their relievers because they wouldn't have money. They wouldn't even be able to like pay their minor leaguers. Like they literally have to find dudes for $5,000 a year that would just be willing to pitch for the Padres.
I'll do it.
That's how dire it would. Oh yeah, I do it too.
I'd do it.
We get the Dodgers, and I'm literally going underhand from the mound, just right down the middle.
Just lightly tossing it up for them.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, recently we're playing wiffle ball. Like we had someone as a universal pitcher, but still like on a team hitting. Kind of a loophole when he's pitching against his own team. Just literally meatballs right down the middle every time. Bit of a loophole. You got to have even numbers for wiffle. But yeah, moving on. College football.
College football. Okay.
Moral of the day, boys. Story of the day. You got to have even numbers for wiffle. Go on.
And don't run into a metal pole. That's the other moral for the day.
Or if you do have odd numbers, the last man's got to ump. Sorry, man. You got to ump.
Okay, so one thing that I have is specific to quarterbacks this season, and the way that some scouts and some coaches are seemingly making them out to be, and this is Drake May. This is specific to Drake May.
What do you have to say about Drake May?
So this is
shit on Drake
let me just read this general tweet. Okay, there's a couple different parts to it, but okay. Drake May is reportedly Joe Burrow as an NFL prospect, according to Trent Dilfer, our favorite.
We can't do anything with him. We can't do anything.
I know, but
Trent Dilfer, but
go on. Many NFL scouts.
Trent Dilfer is now a college coach. Where is he?
Yes, coaching? He's USF's college. He's USF's coach.
It seems like a recruitment attempt. Not sure how well it's going to work, but this is tampering. NCAA. You can't be saying that about another player. That's tampering.
Many NFL scouts reportedly believe May would have been the first overall pick in several of the previous drafts. Many NFL scouts also reportedly believe there is a chance that Drake May could go before Caleb Williams, depending on team preference. That is the most far-fetched thing that I think I've ever heard.
It's not that far-fetched, to be honest.
To have him go over Caleb Williams.
Just hear this out. Hear this out. Like, things can happen going into this next season. Things can happen. Now, obviously, Caleb just won the Heisman. We saw what he could do. Obviously, there's that. But I just want to say, Drake May is very good.
He is very good. He is very good, and I'll give him that.
I actually agree with like that opinion that in recent drafts, like maybe, by nature of that, number one off the board. But like, I think he would be QB1 in a lot of drafts recently.
I would say,
not the Joe Burrow year,
not the Trevor Lawrence year either.
No, that's Blonde Jesus.
What was it? Was it
Fields over him? I'm biased.
So listen to me. Was Trevor Lawrence 3 seasons ago? Right.
I believe he was 2020.
Who was in between him and Trayvon? Oh no, that was Trayvon Walker year. No, but I agree that
the first quarterback in 2021. Who's the first quarterback off the board 2021? Can't say I remember that one.
It might have been a weak class. Who
or it's brutally obvious, and I mean,
Yeah, that's also really possible. Zach Wilson? No,
well,
no,
it
no, no.
says 2021 NFL draft was Trevor Lawrence and stuff.
2022 was
But what's
Trayvon Walker
2020?
year. 2020 was
2020 is
Joe Burrow.
Burrow. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Burrow, Lawrence, and then I don't know which one it was Walker, like this past season, Walker's year. It was Malik. No, because it was a terrible QB draft where we thought everybody was going to get Malik Willis first round, and then he fell to the fourth.
The first quarterback off the board was Kenny Pickett. Like that
Yeah.
draft, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Drake
Yeah.
Mays, the
100%.
first quarterback
100%.
off the board.
Arguably first pick the Jaguars trade for and still land Trayvon Walker. But look, I think that May is a great quarterback. I think that he is an elite prospect, and I'm not criticizing that, but what I am criticizing is anything short of Caleb Williams having a disaster season or having an injury. I cannot see a team having preference for Drake May over Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
I just if
I can't
Caleb
really speak behalf on
if
that. I'm
Caleb
very biased when it comes
if
to
Caleb
that debate,
Williams is
so
on the
no
board, if
comment.
he's available, if you go with Drake May, like it's something doesn't make sense to me. Like that's a Bo Callahan situation. Like something's got to be wrong with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, like his teammates did not go to his birthday party. That's like
They did not.
that's the only thing where I'm like, you know what? You got a point. You got a point. All right. You got to go May. The teammates didn't go to Caleb. Oh, you got to go Drake May. Okay, fair enough. But
yeah,
no, I mean Drake May's very impressive, and also like there's just a lot of things that he checks the boxes that the NFL likes. 6'4", 225, big. They like that.
yeah.
Passed very well, 66% completion, 4,300 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 picks, 700 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. They like that.
Look, like I also don't. I think it's very clear that Drake May and Caleb Williams will be the first 2 quarterbacks off the board this next year. I don't think that is in any way in doubt. But I think that to say that Drake May, assuming Caleb Williams just plays the way we're going to expect him to, I don't think there's anything Drake May could do, even if he has the best season he's had to date, that would propel him over Caleb Williams for this next season for the draft.
It'd have to be Joe Burrow-esque and North Carolina's national champions. Literally. That's it. That actually is what's going to have to happen. And I hate to say it, Everett, but there's a 0% chance of that happening. So
it's impossible.
You heard it here first. Caleb Williams is guaranteed to go number 1 overall in the draft next year. Still think Drake May is like, depending on team. Actually, I wasn't.
No, he can go if the Cardinals top 5 still.
Well, I'm thinking the Cardinals still, depending on who's trading up, might like trade down to like 4 and still get Marv and then have the number 4 pick. I don't know.
Don't forget they have the Texans pick, so they might have.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like they can have like 1 and 2. They trade 1 to whoever wants Caleb. Obviously, you trade up 1. Or if they want to take Caleb, you could do that. Get rid of Kyler. I'm not sure what picks they get for Kyler, but that's another.
Probably not. I'd probably not. He is a quarterback, so the value's high, but the contract is terrible coming off injury. So
no, I know.
I don't really know.
It depends. Like, I mean, the best case scenario for the Cardinals is they lose a lot of games, but Kyler looks amazing. That's the best case scenario. Like,
yeah. Also, I don't know when Kyler Murray is going to come back from his ACL tears.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's the other problem.
So, yeah, but Drake May, I like him a lot, to be completely honest. I mean, we're team Kyle McCord, don't get me wrong, but I would have loved if Drake May was the starting quarterback for Ohio State. But, okay, speaking of Ohio State, moving on. We're trying it out today. Everett and I trying some roster. Whoops. What just...
Whoa.
Me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, things are not going good over here with my toaster computer, but we're doing some roster predictions, some increased playing time, some decreased playing time, some surprising cuts, make the teams, not make the teams. College there are no like cuts, but NFL it's a little different, so slight differences there. But here are my Ohio State predictions. Increase, decrease playing time next season. Start off with the increased. Or actually, here. Trevion Henderson, Xavier Johnson, Jaden Ballard, Caden Curry, Mike Hall, Tyleek Williams, CJ Hicks, and Sonny Styles all going to get increased playing time. And Dallin Hayden, Julian Fleming, and Steele Chambers decrease playing time. I'm not sure how much you know these guys, Everett, but I do know that you think Trevion Henderson is essentially worth a bag of rocks. So
I don't think that, no. But using your own rankings, Mayan Williams is the better running back. So I would be surprised if both of them were healthy.
The thing is, Mayan Williams, he did get a lot of snaps last year. I don't see him losing any necessarily. I don't really see him like gaining any necessarily. But Trevion was hurt last year, didn't play that much. I do see him taking over, at least leading in snap counts on the team. Production too. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully, guys. But Trevion Henderson, just real quick, ever just fun little fact of the day. His freshman year at Ohio State, he averaged 6.8 yards per carry, 1,248 rushing yards on 183 carries, 15 touchdowns, and 4 receiving, 19 touchdowns that year.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he's the best running back we have on the team when healthy. So
why is Mayan Williams ranked ahead of him in your running back rankings?
Because it's after last year. Your words.
Well, how is it my words? What? It's your rankings. It's your preference. It's your rankings. It's your preference. I had nothing
going
to do
into
with that.
Next year.
Okay.
I'm putting Mayan above Trevion going into next year. I still think Trevion's better. And I think Trevion's going to do better if healthy.
Little asterisk. Okay.
I don't know if he's healthy. Being dead ass. No idea. No clue. I think
you'll find out week 1.
He stopped tweeting after he got hurt, and Ohio State fans were all like, "What the fuck? You got to get on the field, dude." He's like, "I'm done." So can't blame him there. But yeah, him. X-Man, Xavier Johnson, our receiver, hit that spin move on Georgia. I think next year Ohio State's actually gonna try to get somewhat of like a 4-5-man rotation, because that last receiver spot, Julian Fleming, on my decrease list, Julian Fleming just isn't quite it. And I kind of want some speed on the field at that other receiver spot. So Xavier Johnson, stretch field a little bit, and Jaden Ballard. Those are our 2 fastest receivers. So get some stretch field guys down there. We're having some DN departures, some big vets who were coming off the bench last year behind the super sophomores, now super juniors. But now we got sophomores coming off the bench. Caden Curry, he's the one who actually got PT last year. I expect him to be the first man to come in, but I don't see like crazy DN rotations like this year. I don't see like crazy D tackles though. Mike Hall, my hero. He was hurt last year. I think he messed up something in his upper body week 3, and it lingered the whole season.
Yeah, those are pretty hard to recover from.
So
especially if it's like your back, it's like it's kind of long term.
Yeah. So there's that. Him and Tyleek, those are my boys. CJ Hicks, he was the 5-star linebacker out of Ohio that did not play a single snap last year, Everett.
Let me also ask you this question, by the way. This is on Ohio State, but it's a little bit off of what you're talking about right now. It's just something that I just thought about. But going in this season, would you have rather had Quinn Ewers for this one season, or would you rather have Kyle McCord?
I mean, after seeing Quinn Ewers last year, did not very interested.
But we're assuming he would have sat and probably developed. Like this would have been his first year playing instead of playing last year.
No,
he
just sat like with that, with like all the expectations and stuff. Like, ideally, yes. And I'm just going to say, yeah, I trust Ryan Day to develop him better than Sark. But I don't know him like going to Texas and stuff. Like, also, I think he was the only guy to have his NIL deal announced, like of the freshman class. Like, I don't know. It seemed to me like he might have been using Ohio State. I don't know. But Kyle McCord, we just like I haven't really seen much. Like spring game, can't really take much from it. But it's not like he was like amazing in that. So yeah, I mean, yes, but like I don't really know. Like Kyle McCord, we don't know.
How do you feel about him?
I just don't really have much to go off of like while he's been at Ohio State. I mean, the only things I like is that he was Marv's quarterback in high school. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. Pretty sure he won the Elite 11. Like he's
So yeah, he has the
proven,
accolades. He has the accolades.
like
Yeah, yeah.
it's just I just haven't like it. The same thing was like I was thinking the same thing about CJ before his first start at Ohio State 2 years ago. Like I didn't know. So yeah, I don't know. Like Dwayne, I at least saw him the year before come in for the Michigan game and like start throwing. I was like, okay, I feel good about that. Like,
yeah, you had some
Fields,
I was
like,
live
oh
action.
my God. Like, I had some like, but CJ and for Kyle, I've never seen them play before. I think Kyle McCord like might have 2 career pass attempts in college football. So like, I have nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
He's got a great supporting cast, though. It helps having him.
I mean, arguably probably one of the best, if not the best, offensive supporting class. Like,
he was his quarterback in high school. So, I mean, that connection, that's the 1-2 punch we're looking for. So, yeah, we like it.
Okay. All right. Let's move. I got a decent amount of stuff, at least on the Vikings for the NFL. I don't know if you have anything NFL related, or I should just kind of go, but
no.
Not important.
Yeah, not really. Things will pop up, but yeah, nothing noteworthy.
So there's going to be a very long segment on the Vikings today. So I hope everybody is excited, happy, and ready to tune in. But the first thing first, these are both kind of Kirk Cousins related things right now. There's a video going around where Justin Jefferson is giving his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And he doesn't mention Kirk Cousins. And everybody is like, oh my God, Justin Jefferson doesn't want to be on the Vikings. He's saying that he should go to, like, he wants to go to these other teams. I saw Bears fans being like, Justin Jefferson's hyping up just like Justin Fields. He's going to want to come to the Bears. Dude, shut up. Like, that is so unbelievably
sorry, I was
stupid.
raised Justin Fields. Now you got me interested.
Now you're making me repeat myself.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just read a startling takeaway that I just saw, but keep going.
Did you get at least the context for everything?
I literally processed Justin Fields.
Great.
I was just reading something that does conflict with an upcoming segment that will be upcoming. But hey, it's okay.
I can apologize to the fans for me repeating this. There's been a tweet circulating of Justin Jefferson giving his top 5 quarterbacks where he left off Kirk Cousins. And everybody's been blowing it out of proportions because they're like, oh my God, Justin Jefferson doesn't want to be on the Vikings. He doesn't like Kirk. I saw Bears fans tweeting about how Justin Jefferson's hyping up Justin Fields and he thinks he's going to do well this year. And that means he wants to come to the Bears. And like, that is the most this is the stupidest thing that could possibly get blown up. And on top of that, other fan bases being like actually like serious about the fact that they're saying that Justin Jefferson doesn't want to play for the Vikings. That is stupid. And I will never understand the media taking things like these and blowing it up. Like, dude, is Kirk Cousins a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? No.
Oh yeah. Oh
no.
Sorry.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And Kirk knows he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And if Justin Jefferson was there with Kirk and Justin Jefferson was like, yeah, Kirk, you're number 5, whatever. Kirk would be like, well, golly, like, thank you for putting me there, but I don't deserve to be there. And he still, even afterwards, mentioned that he 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 would like to. I mean, he still put Kirk behind him. He was like, I'm very like I love Kirk. I'm happy about Kirk. I'm happy with Kirk. I'm happy where I am, but it shouldn't be in the top five no matter what. And you shouldn't be making a big thing out of the list, out of his top five with Kirk not being there, especially making it seem like he doesn't want to be there anymore. He hates Kirk Cousins. Like that's not the
I'm
case
sorry I
whatsoever.
missed this, but he had Joe Burrow 1, correct? Because he'd be really
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, that's
Joe Burrow
even
is three,
worse
I
because
think.
Burrow.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
what? He put.
Well,
Oh, now that's
this
now
tweet was
Justin
from
Jefferson is picking enemies.
Joe Burrow is three. Joe Burrow is three.
The whole point of that was to send shade to Joe Burrow. So there's something happened between them two, Everett. That's what this ranking.
That's not the point of this.
No. How is Joe Burrow not one? That's his easy answer.
Aaron Rodgers was two. All right. Other thing with Kirk Cousins, and this is also from the media, by the way, that's blowing this shit out of proportions. Get Up, or whatever. It's an ESPN. I think it's Get Up, ESPN segment. They had a which NFC North quarterback would you most like to have to take you to win one game in clutch in clutch time, like 2-minute drill, whatever, right? We had two people say Justin Fields, two people say Jared Goff. No mention of Kirk Cousins, and obviously no mention of Jordan Love, because why the hell would Jordan Love be mentioned? My whole argument here is
about him, just like Kyle McCord.
I would accept Jared Goff because of what he did last year. Justin Fields, the entire argument was premised on his ability to run. The dude has not been able to throw. We have not seen great things out of him on the Bears. Kirk Cousins won the most games ever to come in an 8-point margin to come back and win. Had the biggest comeback in NFL history and is not mentioned at all.
And he's really nice.
That's the biggest part. That's the most important part. But it's amusing to me how disrespectful the media is to the Vikings fan base and to Vikings players, because every single time there's a situation like this, the Vikings are immediately tossed aside, like they don't exist. Nothing that they have matters, and they take all these other players who are on teams that are making more noise or whatever, just so that they get more. At least have some transparency here. It's egregious how obvious these things are, and I mean, come on, it's just disrespectful.
Yeah,
but that's my little rant.
Seemed like it was more of. It seemed like that question, like which man would you want? It's more of just like a name question. It's like who's the sexy option?
Yeah, but I mean, Kirk Cousins is not the sexy option, but by everything that he's done, he is the most clutch quarterback out of all of the ones in the NFC North. So I mean, arguably, based off what he did last year, he's the most clutch quarterback in the NFL right now.
Heard it here.
Just based off of, I'm not saying that's literally what it is, but if we just based off last season,
Patty.
If we based it off last season, then yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
high praise for Kirk. We love it.
Anyways, big Vikings segment today, unrelated to all that. Today we have a roster projection, roster breakdown.
Yeah, that was just the lead into the Vikings segment. Just had to get that out, everyone.
Yeah, I had my rant moment for the day. But we have a roster projection, roster breakdown. Depending on how this does, we might do it for other teams. We might do it never again. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see. As a Vikings fan, I know that everybody's just kind of interested on these kind of things. I personally am. So I'm just going to quickly break all this down. I'm going to start with my surprise keepers, surprise cuts for the team entering this next season, and what I think could happen essentially. And then I'll get through the offense and the defense. But just for the start, here are the surprising cuts and surprising keeps. We'll start with the keeps, then do the cuts at the end. Keeps for offense, defense, then do cuts at the end. For the offense, you're going to keep both Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall, Ty Chandler and Brandon Powell. On the defense, Jawan Williams, Tay Gowen, Troy Dye, Ivan Pace Jr., Sheldon Day, and Andre Carter. Now for the cuts, they're going to cut Kenny Nwangwu and Ross Blacklock. Those are the surprise cuts and keeps from what I think. I don't necessarily know how surprising overall a lot of those defensive keeps would be, because obviously they're kind of known commodities right now on the team, and there's a lot. It's a kind of position battles, but I think comparatively to a couple of the players that are on the team that could make the roster or that wouldn't make the roster that do make it, like practice squad, I'll kind of put that out there. Overall, for the offense, quarterbacks, they're going to have 3: Kirk Cousins, Nick Mullins, and Jaron Hall. Running backs, they're going to have 3: in Alexander Madison, Ty Chandler, and Dwayne McBride. All 3 of them make the roster. Kenny Nwangwu does not. The reason I say that is because with the rule changes to the kickoff return, and that being his major commodity for why like he's so important to the team, with that being changed, there's not really a reason to have him on a roster spot. I love him, but I think with him being on the biggest contract or having been on the team the longest outside of Alexander Madison, that means his contract expiring soon. It just makes sense to have him keep the 2 dudes that they just recently drafted. CJ Ham makes the team. Wide receivers, they keep 6: Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor at 4 over Jalen Rieger and Brandon Powell. Tight ends to keep 3: TJ Hawkinson, Josh Oliver, and Johnny Mutt. Nick Muse makes the practice squad. Tackles, nobody really cares, but for the offensive line, to be honest. But I know you are the resident offensive lineman. Christian Darrison, Blake Brandel make up the left tackles. Ezra Cleveland is the only left guard. Garrett Bradbury and Austin Schlottman make up the centers. Ed Ingram and Chris Reed make up the right guards. Rest in peace, Kirk Cousins' feet. Right tackles are Brian O'Neill and Ollie Udoh. For the defensive side of the ball, free safeties, we only have 2. Cam Bynum's going to get the starting not to begin the year because Lewis Cine, even if he's fully healthy, still didn't get much playing time last year. Still kind of ease him in there, but I think Lewis Cine will quickly take that role from him. He's the second safety there. Strong safeties, Harrison Smith, Josh Metellus, and Jay Ward all make the team. Jay Ward being the rookie we just drafted. Corners, Byron Murphy, Andrew Booth at 2, Caleb Evans at 3, Mekhi Blackman at 4, Jawan Williams and Tate Gowen make out the rest of it. Outside linebackers, this also is contingent on where they put Andre Carter, but let's say he plays outside linebacker. We have Daniil Hunter, DJ Wanham, and Andre Carter. Middle linebackers, Brian Asamoah gets the 1, Jordan Hicks, Troy Dye, and Ivan Pace fill out the rest. Outside linebacker, other side, Marcus Davenport and Patrick Jones the second. Benson Whitley might be a practice squad guy there. For the defensive line, Dean Lowry, Azezi Ate, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's rip that one more time.
Atamewo. I think it's Atamewo. And James Lentz at left end. Defensive tackles are Chris Tonga, Sheldon Day, and Jacqueline Roy. Right ends, nose tackles, whatever, Harrison Phillips and Jonathan Ballard. And then we have our kicker and obviously the goated punter of all time, Ryan Wright. So that kind of makes up the roster projections. It's a little bit over. I think there's 55 people, but you do get the swing 2 players from the practice squad. I don't think it's officially a 53-man roster anymore. In total, I think it's 50. You can have 55. So that's the projections as of now. Things are due to change. We'll see how this segment works out. But any questions from the peanut gallery?
Yeah. What about your long snappers? Still repping Andrew DePaola? What are we thinking?
Andrew DePaola, yeah. Okay. Forgot that he exists. That's on me. I'll put the finger up.
Just checking in. He
is an all-pro. He is an all-pro long snapper, and I appreciate you for reminding me. You got to give the long snappers some love. So
if there was a random guy on the team I had to bring up or would remember to bring up, it was him. So yeah. Real quick, I'm just looking online at your depth chart. It appears that currently your 4th string right tackle is Jackie Chan.
I thought he was a right guard.
Regardless, his name is Jackie Chan.
Yeah, it is.
He has to make the team. Just
practice squad, maybe.
Do you know the t-shirts you could sell with that?
You have an idea?
That might get Shohei to come over. That might get it to happen.
To the Twins.
Yeah, Minnesota. big time, great, perfect, just a known for their Japanese cuisine, Minnesota, really. So it makes sense. Everything adds up. Yeah, but that's great. That's amazing. Anyway, in terms of, let's talk about, some starters, some movement that you could see. In terms of offense, could you see any starters getting taken over at any point? Any movement around?
Well, okay, so right now, KJ Osborne I have listed as the number 2 wide receiver. I think it's very clear by the end of the season that
We
Jordan.
just lost to Panama in the Gold Cup semis. We lost 5-4 on penalties. Go on. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but Jordan Addison, obviously, I think everybody's pretty aware that he's going to take over KJ Osborne's 2 spot. I'm expecting
I
Alexander
expect that to
Madison.
happen. This is a question I have though. Do you expect Jordan Addison to ever even threaten to overtake TJ Hawkinson in terms of the order of target share? Because in my opinion, I think it's nailed in. Jetta's 1, Hawk 2, Addison 3.
I think it depends on the progress. Like I don't think that it's like an option kind of thing where it's like your first read you're going to Justin Jefferson,
No,
second
I
read it's
know.
got
I'm
to be
just
TJ
saying at
Hawkinson.
the end of the day, when they count up who got targeted the most.
I think that the way it works is it's Justin Jefferson and then it's whoever's open next. It's not really going to be like it's KJ Osborne over TJ Hawkinson, or TJ Hawkinson over Jordan Addison, or Jordan Addison over all of them. It's just who's open.
No,
I
I
think
get that, but by nature, I do think
I think that
I just
there's
have a
definitely
tough time seeing Jordan Addison getting more
I think
production
I
than
think
TJ
that
Hawkinson.
when TJ Hawkinson, I think TJ Hawkinson is that security blanket kind of thing. So I think that the likelihood, if you want to put it that way, then TJ Hawkinson would be above Jordan Addison. Um, but I think that Jordan Addison, and like everybody else says, I think that he's going to have a lot of open targets now with the weapons that are there with Justin Jefferson. But we all have to keep in mind, by the way, last year when we were watching the team after TJ Hawkinson got there, the things we're saying that Jordan Addison are going to have happen and he's going to get open because everybody's going to be unjust. We got to remember that we had seen that last year because that was just the way things were and it didn't always work out. So we just have to keep that in mind.
I mean, down the stretch, Hawk was essentially like averaging double-digit targets a game. So I just think Hawk's a focal point of the offense.
No, he definitely is. He was definitely.
And as a Jordan Addison dynasty manager, looking at this year, I definitely think TJ Hawk's going to outgain Jordan Addison. Just thinking about it, Jordan Addison would have to really take big leaps.
I think that he will just innately because I think that he kind of ended up commanding because Adam Thielen. I'm going to just be honest with everybody. Adam Thielen did not really play up to what his standards were at the end of last year. And when TJ Hawkinson came,
legend though,
Viking legend. But when TJ Hawkinson came, it definitely he took over that kind of role that Adam Thielen had. The other thing that I'll say is I'm expecting Jalen Naylor to take over the wide receiver four job from Jalen Reagor or Brandon Powell. I'm expecting Alexander Madison to probably lose shares as the season goes on. On the defensive side, I think that Caleb Evans might end up taking that corner 2 job from Andrew Booth. Lewisine will take over from Cam Bynum. That's really not that surprising. And I think Ivan Pace Jr. is going to end up being the second linebacker by the end of the year. The second inside linebacker over Jordan Hicks.
All right. If you were going to, what's one position group that you're most concerned about for the Vikings this upcoming year?
There's a lot. Right guard is a big one. Left and right guard. I'm concerned about both those positions. I am concerned about the secondary and the cornerbacks because they're all outside of Byron Murphy. None of them really have any experience. Caleb Evans had some last year. Andrew Booth really didn't play. When he did play, he was a liability. But look, if I'm going to be honest with everything, if I'm looking at this team and I'm looking at these are the biggest issues, defense overall is still a liability. The defensive line is basically not, there's no big names on the defensive line. And I'm not counting Daniil Hunter or Marcus Davenport because I'm going to count them as kind of floating edges by the way I'm expecting it to be played. Um, Cornerbacks are really young, and then the left and right guard. But I mean, we brought in Brian Flores for a reason. He's going to improve the defense. We're going to be fine.
Okay, so there, Vikings break down. Uh, Now, I mean, outlook of your division, Lions are like the biggest threat, but like, it's Detroit. So at the end of the day, guys, probably going to win the division again, get into the playoffs. Last year, 13-4 season. Do you think you guys can do that again?
Well, when I did the record predictions, no, I don't. This was another
Any
set segment.
changes after the full deep dive on the roster review?
No,
Any changes, updates? Okay.
no.
So
So I think I had him going
7.
7. No, 10-7, or maybe it was 11-6, one or the other. But yeah, 10 wins, 10-11 win season.
Yeah. So there's some things to ponder and consider when we're going over the Vikings, but we got one more thing, Everett.
I do. There's been information that has been provided mid episode on this list, but we're gonna have to make some adjustments here live. But really don't think it's that big of a deal. What we have is the top 10 defensive lines in the NFL. The issue at hand
No, it's okay. Just throw those boys out and toss in my boys, the Washington Commanders.
You want them at 10?
You thought I was gonna say Chargers for a second, did you? No,
you
yeah,
want them
Washington.
at 10?
Yeah,
at 10. Okay,
maybe even higher, but we'll put him there just because opposite of Montez Sweat, question marks on Chase Young, but the two down linemen, nasty. And Sweat.
the issue that we had at hand was we had the Jaguars ranked in this top 10. We found out.
Hey, shout out my man Davon Hamilton. He got his money. That is my guy.
They did fantastic last year. They were top in pressure rates, top in running yards allowed. The issue is they lost some players.
Some production.
We did not realize it happened, so they had to be removed. And you know what?
Trayvon Walker is getting in there, but hey, Everett, even ourselves, we joked. Have we heard a thing about Trayvon Walker?
No, we haven't.
So, yeah.
Okay. Let's do 10-1 defensive line rankings on the fly. Here we go. Commanders, Dolphins, Chiefs, Cowboys, Steelers, Browns, Patriots, Jets, Eagles, and the 49ers.
Okay. We taking dives at all these, looking down, the big change that happened. If we're just looking at the two big dogs, Javon Hargrave going from Philly to San Fran. San Fran, their D line right now on paper.
Disgusting.
Bosa, holy shit. Eric Armstead, Drake Jackson, those
Javon
USC
Kinlaw.
guy. Huh?
Kinlaw's there. He's not fantastic, but he's there. Kinlaw.
But what I'm saying is the Niners, that firepower is there. Now the Eagles are deeper.
Who was there before with on opposite edge of Bosa before Drake Jackson took over the job? Because I feel like there was somebody there before.
I feel like they've had like a rotating door there.
I think there was somebody else last year who was there. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Can't say I know that one off the top of my head, Everett. But yeah, the 49ers, you got the Bosa, you got the D tackles. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, really, just to look
Yeah,
at.
and the one thing that I do want, they have Cleveland Farrell. You can't forget about him.
Yeah.
Legend. The one thing that I'm going to address is one, Steelers fans complaining that the Browns are above you. Let's clarify this. The Browns signed, or the Browns got Zadarius Smith. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson. They have Myles Garrett. Okay. It's really, I mean, it's very, very clear that they have a better overall set of pass rushers on the defensive line, just the defensive line in general, than the Steelers. Jordan Elliott's there, Maurice Hurst. But also, I understand. Look, Cam Hayward's good. You have Larry Ogunjobi. You have TJ Watt. And you guys are good every year. But just on a standpoint for what the possibilities of this are, I have to put them above you. The
Okay.
other thing,
Okay.
the other thing,
I'm excited to read the Alex Highsmith comments, but that's all right.
isn't Alex Highsmith an inside linebacker?
14 and a half sacks. Definitely not an inside linebacker. If he was, now holy shit.
He is. He plays strong side. He plays strong side. Yeah, you're right. You're right there. You're right.
But yeah, I mean, Steelers fans, go do what you got to do, guys.
Browns have JOK too. Don't forget about that. Cowboys are the other thing. People are going to be like, well, the Cowboys, like, why are they at 7? They should be higher.
Mozzie Smith, new guy coming in.
Micah Parsons. Tackle. Micah Parsons obviously is there. I know they have D Law, but his production's been declining. Micah Parsons, while phenomenal, one of the best players in the league, arguably can be argued to be the best player of his age right now with comparison to Justin Jefferson. He's not the entire team, and they've had issues on the defensive line. That's why they just got Mozzie Smith. So really, outside of Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, they don't have anything that's solidified. So we're fully just going off of what DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons can do rather than the whole of the defensive line.
If anything, just be happy that Micah Parsons and D-Law is enough to get you in the top 10 when, there's some other notable pass rushers that didn't get in the top 10, and they also don't have much help around them. So, that's one thing to look out
for. Dolphins, Chiefs, very underrated defensive line, played very well done. Like, I know that their defense was an issue, but Chris Jones plays great. They've kind of George Karlaftis was very good rotation piece. Like they don't have the big names outside of Chris Jones, but like they're a very good defensive line. Dolphins, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips,
everything works.
I think Godchow is still there. Christian Wilkins, that's one great defensive line too. So there you have it, top 10 defensive lines. We had the Jaguars there. Trayvon Walker, obviously very good. A couple other guys there. They were phenomenal last year, but the depth just is not there anymore that was having them
without
up there.
Arden Key. Ooh. And Clavon. God damn it. I just had his name pulled up. Dwayne Smoot. Yeah, without that.
Yeah, Smoot. Smoot was very good. Smoot was very good last year.
So just lost a lot of production there. But yeah, some things where I'm just going over the list, just thinking of names, I was thinking like Giants probably be in there. Then I looked at the stuff and I was like, oh my God. So New York, like, let's get those numbers up,
It's amazing. That entire division, the Commanders, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and then you have the Giants.
Like the only thing I could, it's not like no, Pollard could have ran all over them. I take that back. No, that was definitely possible last year.
The one thing I'd like to comment is there is no NFC North teams in here. There's no NFC North team in this list.
Oh yeah. No NFC North in there. Low-key, probably pretty exciting for you. There's some teams out there with some parts.
Packers are definitely debatable. I think top 15 can merge into the top 10. I know that's
like Gary, I respect. I just, Preston Smith's on the down.
Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark, UCLA guy. We don't like him, but yeah. We got some mutual hate there for Kenny Clark.
I think Lancaster. I think they have Lancaster there.
Yeah, we don't need to look into it too much. It's the Packers. Let's just see what Jordan Love does. That's
Which is the other thing I saw a tweet being like the Packers offenses. I think this is from PFF. They said the Packers offense is being slept on, and they listed them. They go Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, and then Christian Watson, Dubes, and Luke Musgrove. They're like I said, the Packers offense is going to sleep on. All the comments were, yeah, I'm keep sleeping. It's sleeping emojis, sleeping memes, videos. Yeah, they're getting slept on for a reason. It's because you can take the fattest nap of your life, sleeping on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like Kyle McCord. We don't know anything about Jordan Love. We do not know anything. So,
well, he did play in the game versus the Chiefs and did nothing.
Okay. But yeah, like
that was also the game the Chiefs.
QB1.
That was also the game, by the way, the Chiefs gave
hopes.
Jordan Love's mom tickets to the game and stuck her in literal rafters of the stadium.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, things are gonna happen. You got to play to your competitive advantage. But
yeah. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. Follow me and Grant at Everett and at Waterboy Grant on Twitter. We post new TikToks every single day except for Mondays at 8 p.m. Central. You don't want to miss them. It's great content. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday in the mornings. Yeah, make sure to subscribe, follow, give us some love, interact with us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Waterboy's out.